But if you think about what you ain't got going on and all your defeats, you are weakening your faith. So look, today, man, we're gonna react to this video. It's on one of these faceless channels. As you can see, it's got 102,000 likes. But it sparked me, man. It sparked me. So let's see what you think about it.
People give up right before they get what they've always wanted to get. People quit and they give up.
Never, ever quit. Never quit.
If you want to give up, you can give up. This is your choice. You can do whatever you want. Your time's gonna come, but you cannot give up.
The biggest mistake a person can do is to give up.
People give up right before they...
We've been here 700,000 years and we ain't never gave up. And whatever it looks like, we just keep persevering. We got some in us, man, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, is a monstrosity, man. I mean, it won't let us give up. I mean, this is something about us. I mean, some people don't even know what they got. They think, you know, man. So that's a great. He's gonna honor him up. He's gonna bring this to the end, and this and never give up. Put us back in slavery, and this one thing. Man, I could talk about that for a while. Let me briefly say something about that.
Yeah, go
in
ahead.
the world that never give up. Man, listen, all kind of dilemmas.
Right,
we
right.
never gave up. And that never giving up, man, it's something inside of us that won't let us give up. You know, it ain't that because we just smart or something. We were just born with something inside of us. Say, these people are gonna be here to the end of time.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
So never giving up. I just wanted to say that a little bit.
Well, I think that thing that's inside, man, that's the human spirit, the Holy Spirit, you know, or God, or Mother Nature, you know, because a lot of people get discouraged when they feel like, you know, they don't know why life is worth living. You know what I'm saying? They look at the news and, you know, a person might not be in the economic space or an emotional space that they want to be in, and they just say, man, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't doing nothing but suffering. You know, I ain't got no good job. I ain't got no good woman. I ain't got no good food to eat, you know, and they can't see past that, man. And them is the people that often is like, man, I just want to give up, man. You know what I'm saying? And when you get feeling like that, ain't no telling what you could do. But what I'm going to say is this. Sometimes you got to hit rock bottom, because a lot of times it's your own thoughts that's getting in your own way. So sometimes you try to craft circumstances that's going to make this and that work, and you try to plan everything out meticulously, and then ain't none of it working. So that's when you want to give up, because you say, that's why they say, you know, man make plans and God laughs. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can plan and plan and plan and don't nothing go your way, but the whole key is perseverance. You know, they say patience is a virtue. Well, guess what? Patience is a virtue. Patience is not the virtue. You know, diligence is a virtue. Perseverance is a virtue. Resilience is a virtue. You know, so I think part of life, the reason life is so hard is it because it's supposed to test your internal fortitude so you can draw up and draw out some of them virtues that you was gifted with when you was breath life into you, you know what I'm saying, through your mother's womb, you know. So I didn't really want to go down that path when I was thinking about giving up. Let me tell you what was on my mind, but unless you got something to say to touch on that.
Well, I like to just talk about a personal experience for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I remember, I think I might have been I was a young man. I think I might have been about 27, 28 years old at the time. And I was living in New York, and I was making my debut, you know, in my craft, you know.
Yeah.
I was, you know, in the streets doing my thing, you know, playing and what have you, and so forth. So I wasn't putting things together like I wanted to, and people that's around me was doing things, and I wanted to do things, but wasn't nothing working for me at that point.
Okay.
You know? And I said, well, man, maybe I need to give up this stuff here, man, and go on to the army. So I was really discouraged, you know?
Okay.
And someone just said, well, just hold on, man. Don't give up now. Just hold on. You know, something inside, you know.
Okay.
wouldn't let me give up. And man, I held on a little further, man, and bingo, man, all hell broke loose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, I could say, I could see over the other side, of the rainbow. I could see clearly now.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so I didn't give up and everything worked out fine. Yeah, so just what I could say, in my experience, man, it's just like at 76 years old, I hear older people say, well, man, ain't that weird? I ain't nothing I can do about it now, man. I guess that, the cars were just made like this. I say, hey, man, don't put me with that mess now. My name West now. I'm not in that mess. Don't put me in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, it's hard, and it's been hard all the while.
Right.
But like you said, persevering. When you have personal initiative, you go right on through all that.
Right.
You get over to the other side. So yeah, man, it's hard. You think it ain't hard for you 76 years old. I bought computers and stuff back for my children, like in the early 80s. But late 70s, I bought computers for them, Nintendos and all that stuff. But do you think I went anywhere near that? Man, I avoided those computers like it had the plague or something. I got away from that, And for me to be on here and be on social media, with you, Justin, this is a blessing, man. I mean, this is a blessing, and it's a testimony for a person not giving up. I got a lot of information, a lot of content. I've seen a lot of things in the world. I'm living over here in paradise now.
Right.
I've seen a lot of things. I may not have a lot of information about the information highway, but I got content, but I got sense enough to join up with people like yourself, young people, you young than me. I'm old enough to be your dad.
Yeah, you're older than my
I'm probably
dad.
older than your father, How old is your father?
He's about 60. You a little bit.
I'm 16 years older than him. I'm almost older than your grandfather.
You're a little bit older than my grandmother.
How old your grandmother?
She had him when she was 14. So she's about 74, 75.
Okay, yeah. So I'm old enough to be your grandfather, and I'm still in the game.
Right.
I'm in the game of life. I'm still in the game.
Well, look. Let's break down what keeps you in the game, though. Cause see,
I moved around, man. 76, walking in the morning, up and down the hill, and everything. Me and my lady, So it's a beautiful thing, man, to keep going. And now, how long can I do this here? I tell you exactly however long I do it.
Okay. Yeah, I said it might be a young man or a young woman to hear this, man, and they pursuing something. They might be pursuing a career. They might be pursuing a love interest, and it just seemed like ain't nothing lining up for them. I remember one time, I'll just tell you a brief history about me, man. When I got into that self-knowledge, see, I think what keeps you going and flowing, what keeps you different from them dudes who say, oh, man, I'm going to just have to throw my hand in, you know what I'm saying? Because, it don't look like it's gonna work out for us and ain't nothing I could do. It's what they consuming. If they not consuming nothing that's empowering them, that makes them feel like, as long as you got breath in your body and you got a sound mind that you are a conscious contributor to the world. If they not consuming nothing like that, they just watching the news, then yeah, they gonna be defeated. Because mentally they gonna be defeated. All they seeing is a whole bunch of problems that they can't control. They watching planes crash, boats overturned. You seen that boat in the Caribbean? Did you see that boat in the Caribbean?
No, I didn't see that.
I ain't gonna bring that up, man. The point I'm making is, first and foremost, you got to fortify your mind, and you got to have faith. You got to have faith that, man, something is gonna break. And I think the best way to exercise faith, because faith is like a muscle, it's just like doing push-ups. It's just like you walking up and down that driveway, man, and doing that Tai Chi. The more you do it, the stronger you get. But if you think about what you ain't got going on and all your defeats, you are weakening your faith. So to strengthen your faith, you got to think. That's why the book of life and having a journal is real important, man, because you got to have something.
Important.
Yeah, you got to have something that's going to remind you, man, of the little things that do count, man. Somebody might have smiled at you, man. Somebody might say, hey, man, I'm happy to see you today, man. That's enough to give you the faith that, okay, everything ain't all bad.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
if you don't meditate on that, man, you might just get drowned in that darkness, man. You know what I'm saying? So I try to meditate. I I utilize the book of life. What I like about the book of life is that gratitude section. And that gratitude section, I look forward to getting to that section, man, because it makes me go through my memory bank and say, okay, man, what did happen to me this week that I can be happy about it. You know what I'm saying? I can be grateful about, so I think that's the first thing, man, is exercising gratitude.
Well, that's a very important the journaling period. In all aspects, and especially the aspects that we offer in the book of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, the book of life, man. This is right here, man. The book of life. This is really great to have because all the things. See, the world is moving so fast.
Right.
It's impossible for you yourself to keep up with that.
Right. Right.
This is why they got. This is why and then they got the electronics and the technology and they're zooming. They got data machines and all they can pull.
AI.
AI, all this stuff here, man. So I tell guys, I said, well, I'm 76. I said, I forget a lot of things, man. I think about something 1 minute, I forget. If I don't write it down, I didn't forget about it.
Yeah.
And I said, that's probably his old age. So I heard some young people say, man, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I know it's not particularly the age thing, which age got something to do with it, but it is because information is moving so fast. You know what I mean? Well, just like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And this is every day, all day long, man. What you hear, like on social media, man, they used to talk about Puffy, man. They done forgot about Puffy. They on to something else. They talking about Big Meech. They talking about Donald Trump. Talking
Elon
about
Musk.
Musk kid told Donald Trump.
Yeah, you motherfucker, you shouldn't be. You ain't no real president. Yeah, all that. Next week, by the time this come out, it'll be something new. And it's gonna drop tonight.
Hey, look here, it's always something. And so, but one thing, man, something you said made me think about. Is when you get tuned, when you accept the universal God force, when you accept that as being prevalent in your life, God can't take that away from you.
Yeah.
God cannot take that away from you because God, He give it to you. He said, this is yours for whosoever, you know what I'm saying, can open their mind up and grasp this here. It's yours and can't nobody take it away from you.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just like, it'd be just like a woman when she's 9 months pregnant and her water breaks and her legs is crossed. Her legs are closed. Look here. I don't care what it is. There's nothing up under the sun can hold her legs together when that water breaks. That baby is coming out of there.
Yeah.
Nothing can hold it.
Well,
they ain't got no machines and no kind of power. It is the power.
Yeah, and that's where I was going with that, man. I never got there, but what I was gonna say is before I say that, it's like a brother told me, wise man named Prince Naquan. He said, man, the beauty of knowledge is even if you cut my head open, you can't take my knowledge. Only way you can get my knowledge is if I give it to you. So that's the power of knowledge, man. Once you get something ingrained in your mind, can't nobody take it away from you. You can share it with somebody, but can't nobody steal that from you. So when
you earned that.
Say that?
You earned that. That's yours.
That's yours. I mean, that's 100% your possession, man. And I said that to say earlier, when I started getting into self-knowledge, man, I was around 22 years old. And the first book I read was the book of Proverbs. Because I heard, man, if you read Proverbs every day, man, for a couple of years, 3 years, you'll be rich. And I didn't understand at the time that the riches that they was talking about was not exactly gold and silver and diamonds and dollars. You know what I'm saying? So I got hip to King Solomon, and he was talking the difference between a wise man and a fool. And I said, well, I know damn sure I don't want to be no fool, you know what I'm saying, swimming in folly. And then I started reading other books, man, and them books reinforce that the power of God flows through me just like it flew through Christ, just like it flew through mighty King David, mighty King Solomon, and every other brother and sister you heard that's done something powerful with their life. So I think it's important for people to understand that, man, look, you got to fortify your mind. You got to, if you don't like to read, you got to pick up some audio books or go to some church or follow our program, because we're going to start feeding you more of that universal principle that anybody can access. And I think the only people that really consider giving up, because see, I ain't never thought about giving up. Once I start reading Proverbs and seeing the greatness of a wise man that any wise man can access, and he said, wisdom cries out in all places. I remember one time, that's the last thing I'm gonna say before I let you get back on the mic. I remember I was working at a job selling cars, right? And I was doing pretty good, but I didn't like the job. So I seen in the paper they had a job advertising for creative loafing. And I used to pick up creative loafing all the time, man. That was like when I first moved to Atlanta, I saw that paper. Then everywhere I went, I would see that paper. So I would pick it up. You know what I'm saying? It was like the final call. If I seen a brother with the final call, I'd give him $1 and buy it. But creative loafing was free. You know what I'm saying? So I used to pick that up every time I was out and about. And I said, man, this is a fly magazine, man. I would love to work for this magazine. So I sent in my application. The dude's email was there. I used to email the dude. I used to call the office every day. I never got no response, man. Cold. You know what I'm saying? I ended up working that same job for another year. This might have been about 15 years ago. Next thing you know, 4 years later, something told me, man, I was hustling, man. I didn't have no job, man. I was driving Uber, you know what I'm saying, and hustling on the side. And one day, I don't know what happened, man. I said, man, put on this motherfucking suit, man, and go down to the office, man. I had the paper sitting right there, and I saw the office. The address was on the paper. Man, I walked over there to the thing, man. I mean, it was miraculous because they got a security guard till you got to sign in just to get up to the floor. If you ain't got no appointment, they ain't even supposed to let you up to the floor. Man, the security guard breezed me in, man. Soon as I got to the office had a glass door. The editor-in-chief of the paper was walking right past that glass door. How can I help you? I said, yes, ma'am. My name is Justice Godfrey, man. I'm a professional salesman. And I was just wondering if y'all had some opening. She said, oh, here, come to my office. I'm making my coffee right now. Man, I had that chick laughing and slapping her thigh and shit. And she offered me the job on the spot. They wasn't even hiring, you know, giving me a nice salary, man, downtown office. I think you came to that office, man. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
I did.
So the point that I'm making is that's why you can't give up, because sometimes your timing ain't, you might not be in the timing, you know, but if you give up, you damn sure. That's why they say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I just gave you that little story to let you know, man, I got 1,000 stories like that, man, where I done broke through. You know, and I know Tyrone do too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
anyway, Tom, we got 8 minutes. Go ahead.
No, I just I like what you were saying, man, because I could identify with it, man. I remember leaving Detroit, going to New York, man, and you know, I was hustling, you know what I'm saying? You know, playing, pimping, this and that, you know what I mean? And so I was in New York, man, and I would buy a lot of books from the dope fiends that were selling stuff. Back there in 72, the dope fiends were selling everything, man. I'm talking about everything but the kitchen sink. I told you this before. They selling everything. Okay. So they would have boxes of books. Some of them would have to be selling books. So I didn't have no library or nothing. So I just opened my trunk to my Cadillac. I said, put the whole box in there, man. How much you want for that? I don't know what I got in there. I get home, man, I got books in there. James Allen, Hilly Gibran. I don't know nothing about this, you know.
You got a treasure chest.
Like, this is in 72. I was born in 48. So I'm 24 years old, man. And so so I started reading The Voice of the Master by Hilly Gibran. Yeah. And it made a statement and it said, he who understands you is closer kin to you than your own brother, because your own brother may not understand you. Yeah. And I said, damn, man. You know, because I always thought, I mean, nobody could be closer than blood. You know what I mean? Okay. That was my understanding, you know. And it was talking about he who understands you is closer to you than your own blood brother, you know. Right. He may not understand who you are, you know. And So I started reading that, the voice of the master, man, and you know, the prophet. It had all of them. He had all the books, and I was getting all kind of stuff, man. I never heard of this stuff before, man. You know. And then in '75, man, I started, you know, getting into fasting and all that stuff. So, you know, it's been a continuation of things that, you know, I read. That was the first book I read in the Bible. Not the first book I read, but the first book I read in the Bible. First book I read all the way through at home. The first book I read as a young man, at 18, 19 years old, was Iceberg Swim.
Yeah, okay.
That was the first book I read.
Cover to cover.
Yeah, man. I read that book, and I read his next book, Trick Baby.
Right.
Yeah, so those were the first books I read, man. But reading Proverbs, you know, will really tell you about things, you know, in the world, you know, things, you know, in the streets. And I'm talking about not the streets of, you know, Detroit or New York. I'm talking about the streets of the world. Proverbs could just tell you about everything, man. All about, you know, being wise and, you know, dealing with folly, like you said, dealing with, you know, dealing with harlots, and you know, they had all the street element, all the elements in it, man. You know what I mean? You know, they will put hot coal up to your chest. You know what I'm saying? Or you get burned. And all this kind of stuff was, you know. So Proverbs was the first book I read when I started reading the Bible.
Right.
I studied Proverbs.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So look, Ty, we got about 3 minutes left, man. I want to add on to that point, that excerpt you said from Khalil Gibran, because there's a quote. I don't know who said it, but it says something like, "He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened." And see, that's the key. You got to know that it's a power in you, like you said, that goes back immeasurable time. See, you say, I know you say we 700,000 years old because that's what the date of the architectural bone, the oldest bone they got that they found. But in a couple of years, they might find one that they say is a myth. I mean, once you get so far back, you know, this shit is timeless, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like in the Bible, they say, you know, it's first Adam and Eve. It can't nobody prove how long we've been here. So you can't say how long we gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? But that's why when you in your lifetime and you in your life journey, you got to understand that it's gonna be ups and downs in the journey, man. But you have to get clear on, what do you think the art of living is about? What do you think the purpose of life? See, for me, I think the purpose of life is to gain an understanding of yourself and to live in joy, you know what I'm saying, and have a level of civilization and bliss. You know, some people is in a pursuit of money. They think, you know, as long as I got a bunch of money, that's what life is about. Some people think it's all about having a whole bunch of sex. You know, that's what their life is about. You got to get clear on what your life purpose is about. You know, so that's where the book of life comes in once again, because if you ain't putting that pen to pad, and we'll talk about this in the next episode, the magic wand. That magic wand been hidden for me, man, this week, man. Right, everything I've been writing down, man, been coming to fruition this week, man. It started Saturday. I mean, really? This been powerful. We'll talk about it next week on next episode, man. It's been powerful, Ty. You know. So anyway, any last words, man? We got 2 minutes left.
Yeah, man. I'm so glad to do this podcast with you today, because, you know, I had some things went on with me last night, man, and you know, wasn't too real foggy, you know, and I got clear on it, man, and getting clear on it and having opportunity to really talk and help somebody else. You know, out of all the things you said about the key to life, you know, I'm gonna add one thing to it, you know, that I think I didn't recall hearing it, and that's being able to help other people. Yeah. Now, you know, instead of keep talking myself, what I got to do for me. See, if I help you, you know, and help enough people, you know, I'm gonna be helped, because wherever I go, people gonna say, I'm gonna help him, you know, because he helped me. And then the universe gonna say, throw something his way.
Right on.
He's been helping folks, you understand, all the while. Throw something to his children's way, to his grandchildren's way, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how the universe works, you know.
Okay.
So it's always, you know, it's been said self-preservation is the first law of nature. You know, I'm not sure. In one sense, I understand that. In another sense, you know, I look at it in a different way. You know,
Okay.
I understand that I have to take care of myself. You know, but it ain't all about self. It's about the next person. You know, but I didn't really know that for a long, long time. I didn't really know that. It was
Okay, Chop.
always about taking care of me. You know,
Well, we can touch on that on the next episode because I agree
that
with
would
you.
be
You know,
good.
there's an individual self and there's a universal self, which is the human family. So yeah, man, signing out another episode of Power of Imagination. This is Justice Godfrey, and I'm here with
Tyrone Stevens.
and we appreciate you listening to us, man. If you got anything from this episode, please leave us a comment, like, and share it with somebody who might appreciate it.
Yeah, and we're gonna be coming again, man, because we got some plans that we're gonna let out, and we need some help to do these things. You know. Okay, so hey, signing out, man. This is
All right.
Ty Stevens.
All right. Peace out.
All right, peace out.